Let me ask you a basic understanding. Why is a roof installed the way it's installed? Old traditional 3-tab shingles, and I know you have architectural shingles, and we'll talk about the difference in those, but you know where you start at the bottom of the roof and you put on one set of tabs and then you put on another one on top of it and on top of it and on top of it. Why does it work that way?
Well, they install it that way. The manufacturer of the shingle actually manufactures the shingle to be installed that way. There's always guidelines on how our installers are putting on the shingles.
Yep.
And they just follow that by code. The reason is it helps lock that roof tight, right? Mm-hmm. It's a system, and it helps keep water out. It helps the shingles, withstand wind and weather events and stuff like that.
My question for you is this: if somebody is listening and they have a very flat roof, in other words, you have to have a certain amount of pitch in order for those shingled roofs to work, what do they do if their roof is too flat?
I actually saw that today. There's a lot of, additions to homes, porches, covered decks, things like that, where you've got a low pitch. So what I'm looking for when I'm out on a roof, if the pitch is less than, I would say, 3, I'm going to start thinking about what's called rolled roofing. And that is just a big roll of shingle. It's the shingle material, but you roll it out flat. And the reason you use that on a flat surface is it locks that water out. If water sits on a 3-tab at a low pitch, there's a high chance that it's going to leak through. And like you said, you want to use gravity and think like water, really.
For many, many years, there were only 3-tab shingles, flat 3-tab shingles. Now they offer an architectural shingle. And talk to me about that. What's the difference in the two? Why did they come out with architectural shingles? What's the benefit?
The benefit of architectural shingles is it has a toothed shingle, and that gives more, I would say, sturdiness to the actual shingle itself.
Okay.
A 3-tab's just going to lay flat, and you're relying on the adhesive that's on the bottom of the shingle to withstand high winds.
Yes.
When you break those shingles up and stack them on top of each other and give them a little bit of depth so that wind can kind of travel over it in a different way,
yep, it
really makes a stronger shingle. So you'll see differences in wind resistance by like 50 miles an hour between 3-tab and an architectural.
Well, that's so interesting. I thought architectural shingles were just designed for the appearance. When you put a roof of architectural shingles on a home, then the roof actually becomes something to look at, because it almost looks like it's different textures, because it is. The shingle is different thicknesses at different areas. Is that correct?
That's correct. It gives more depth to the shingle, but it also, think about if a big piece of hail hits that flat 3-tab,
yep,
it's going to damage that quicker than it would a structured architectural shingle. They're thicker. Yeah.
That is so true. And we get hail in our area. We get hail, and we have gotten a lot of wind lately for sure. Now, I'm sure you're aware of this, but there was a manufacturer, I think it was called Atlas, and they manufactured a shingle called I think it was called the Atlas Chalet shingle. I haven't talked about it in quite some time, but it was actually designed to look like an architectural roof, but it was just a flat 3-tab shingle. Do you come across those? Now, if you have them, they were not a subject, in my understanding, of a class action lawsuit, but it was determined that the manufacturing process was defective. The issue is when an insurance company comes out and sees Atlas Chalet shingles, there's really no way to fix them because you can't get replacement shingles. But talk to the listeners about what an Atlas Chalet shingle is and how maybe they could tell if they have Atlas Chalet on their home.
Yeah, an Atlas Chalet is it's a different looking 3-tab. They manufactured it for the aesthetic look, mm-hmm, and it just did not perform well. So if you do have an Atlas Chalet, you could probably find that out through your builder.
Yeah. I
don't think they're definitely not putting them on homes anymore, but if your house was built 15 years ago, there's a chance you could have one on there.
Yep.
To determine it, really, you can get a free inspection, have someone come out and take a look.